Philadelphia surveillance footage can be hard to watch because the camera catches the moment before everything changes. 1 second, people are standing outside like it is a normal day. The next, a car pulls up, somebody reaches for a gun, and the whole scene turns into panic. In this video, we're breaking down some of the craziest Philadelphia shootings and homicides caught on camera. Some of these clips get graphic, so I can't show the full footage on this platform. The full versions are on TopTrendReportTV.com in the murder surveillance section. On TopTrendReportTV.com, we go deeper than what we can show here. We post exclusive case files, break down murder reports, analyze crime scenes, and build detailed diagrams so you can understand what happened step by step. We're also going deeper into ballistics, autopsy reports, and the evidence behind these cases like real investigators. April 21st, 2022 starts on North 58th Street in West Philadelphia, where a porch camera captures 4 suspects walking up on 2 victims standing along a residential sidewalk. The suspects close the distance fast. Within seconds, they pull out handguns and fire multiple shots from close range. The victims have almost no time to react before the gunmen are already right in front of them. Street level cameras later capture a dark colored SUV leaving the area. Kevin Wade and Josiah Pratt were both killed in this shooting. A year later, on March the 27th, 2023, the next clip moves to North Broad Street at night. The footage is captured in infrared. A masked suspect is seen walking along the street wearing a hooded sweatshirt. He moves into position, pulls a gun, and fires toward a victim off camera. After the shooting, the suspect runs south toward Rockland Street. Frank Prowler was killed in this incident. The camera does not show the victim clearly, but it does catch the suspect before and after the gunfire. February 17, 2023 brings us to Market Street in West Philadelphia, where a silver sedan pulls into the area and drops off 2 suspects dressed in all black. The suspects move near a convenience store while the vehicle passes through. At 7:04 p.m., both gunmen open fire on a crowd outside the store. People scatter from the sidewalk as the shots ring out. 3 people were hit in this shooting. The key moment is the drop-off. The suspects arrive, step into position, fire into the crowd, and flee. The crazy thing about this one is the guy standing on the bus stop had no idea that they was running up to do a shootout. On January 11th, 2023, the footage starts inside a store on West Erie Avenue. The suspects are seen lingering near an ATM, appearing to wait. Outside, one suspect wearing a camo hoodie pulls out a handgun and fires several shots at 16-year-old Samaj Richardson. After Samaj is hit, he runs into a vacant lot and collapses. Both suspects are later caught on multiple camera angles running away from the scene. The night of October 30th, 2022 unfolds on West Ontario Street. With a white Kia Sportage parked on the block, a suspect exits from the rear passenger side holding a semi-automatic firearm. He steps out, moves toward the sidewalk, and fires numerous rounds at 2 victims. After the shooting, the suspect gets back inside the SUV and the vehicle pulls away. This shooting ended as a double homicide. 6 days earlier, on October 24th, 2022, another camera catches a dark-colored vehicle turning the wrong way onto a one-way street on North 66th Street. As the driver begins to reverse, 3 suspects open fire on the vehicle. The driver is caught in a bad position, trying to back out while the shots come in. Surveillance from inside a nearby store shows the suspects clearly before the incident. Then the outside angle captures the moment the vehicle gets trapped and the gunmen start firing. September 15, 2022 puts the camera near 62nd and Market Street, where a dark minivan moves through the intersection while 2 people are riding bicycles. The suspects exit the vehicle and start shooting at the 2 people on the bikes. After firing, the gunmen run back to the minivan and the vehicle speeds away northbound. This is one of the clips I can't show in full here because of how graphic the footage is. The full version is on TopTrendReportTV.com in the murder surveillance section. August 16th, 2022 brings the next scene to Patani Rec Center on North 22nd Street. The footage shows suspects outside near the building, and one person is seen handling a firearm. A group is near the front doors when the shooting begins. As shots are fired, people scatter in different directions. One suspect is seen firing a handgun while running through the basketball courts. That same date, August 16th, 2022, another incident was connected to Shepherd Recreation Center on North 57th Street. A white Dodge Durango is chased by police. After shots are fired, the Durango crashes on Farson Street and 5 people jump out and run. One suspect is captured getting out of the vehicle wearing yellow gardening gloves. This is where this version stops, but the full 14-minute uncut breakdown is on TopTrendReportTV.com in the murder surveillance section. The rest of the video gets even crazier, with more footage, deeper case details, and murder reports when available. Go to the site now to watch the full version. 6 offenders jump out of a white work van on Germantown Avenue, and within seconds the entire corner turns into a gunfight. Another clip shows a shooter wearing purple latex gloves firing at a victim outside a grocery store, then appearing to struggle with his gun before running back toward a blue Hyundai Santa Fe. Some of these clips are too graphic to fully show on these platforms. The full uncut versions are on TopTrendReportTV.com, along with the full case file archive where I break down murder reports, gang indictments, surveillance footage, and deeper evidence connected to these cases. Outside a grocery store at 41st and Lancaster Avenue, a blue Hyundai Santa Fe slowly rolls into the area while a 34-year-old man stands near the storefront on July the 20th, 2022 at 6:40 p.m. The suspect steps out fully dressed in black balaclava, black hoodie, black sweatpants, purple latex gloves. The gloves immediately stand out because everything else on him blends into the dark clothing. He walks toward the storefront with a handgun already visible, closes the distance on the victim, and fires toward the victim's lower body, striking him in both legs outside the store. Then the footage catches something strange. Right after the shots, the suspect appears to struggle with the handgun like something malfunctioned. For a moment, it looks like he is trying to clear the weapon or reload before finally turning and running back toward the Hyundai Santa Fe. The SUV quickly leaves the area while the victim survives long enough to be transported to Penn Presbyterian Hospital. March 11, 2022. Brings the next shooting to 1900 East Washington Lane. A gray Nissan Maxima moving eastbound slows near a gold Ford Escape and suddenly stops in the roadway. Two offenders wearing dark clothing and facial coverings jump out almost immediately. One moves toward the front side of the Ford Escape, while the second moves toward the rear area, trapping the occupants inside between both shooters. Then both open fire directly into the SUV. The attack happens fast, but the escape route is what really stands out in the footage. Instead of getting back into the Maxima, both shooters suddenly break off on foot and sprint through the breezeway of 1916 Washington Lane toward Mayland Street while the Nissan flees separately. The split escape makes the entire ambush look coordinated from the start. At Harbison Avenue and Comley Street, surveillance footage inside a convenience store reportedly captures a suspect moving around before the shooting begins. On March 25, 2022, the suspect stands out because of the white stripes running down the sides of his pants. After the victim exits the store, the situation shifts outside near the doorway area. Police said the confrontation started as a failed robbery attempt before the suspect suddenly pulled out a handgun and fired multiple shots toward the victim. Even after being hit once, the victim still manages to drive away from the scene and flag down police officers a few blocks later. Police later said the suspect escaped in a blue Chevy Malibu with New Jersey tags. Near a local bar on North 27th Street, people are stepping outside during the early morning hours of March 15, 2022, when a black Honda Accord pulls into the area. Then three armed gunmen pile out. The shooters move aggressively toward the front of the bar and immediately begin firing toward people standing outside near the entrance. Patrons scatter across the sidewalk trying to escape while one victim is struck in the hip. Then the whole thing is over almost as fast as it started. The shooters run back toward the Honda Accord, jump inside, and disappear westbound on Huntington Street. March 7, 2022 shifts the footage to the corner of Berks and Krosky, where a gray Lexus GX46 suddenly becomes part of another ambush. Before the SUV fully settles near the curb, passenger doors swing open and two masked gunmen jump out holding semi-automatic handguns. People standing on the corner immediately start running as the shooters fire multiple rounds toward the group. One victim is struck in both legs during the attack. After firing, the gunmen quickly retreat back into the Lexus and speed away southbound. Near 54th Street and Chester Avenue, the next case turns from a shooting investigation into a crash scene. Just before 8 p.m. on February 23, 2022, a stolen white Acura SUV races through the area before crashing violently into parked vehicles and a tractor trailer. Debris scatters across the street while smoke pours from the wrecked SUV. Then three males begin climbing out of the damaged vehicle. Instead of staying near the crash, they immediately run southbound on 54th Street before police can fully secure the scene. Investigators later recovered a semi-automatic handgun from inside the stolen Acura. The footage stands out because the crash completely changes the energy of the situation. The suspects cannot quietly leave anymore, so the shooting scene suddenly becomes a chaotic foot chase. Late on December 30th, 2021, a group stands outside near Germantown Avenue and Column Street while a white work van pulls alongside the corner. Then the side doors open. 6 offenders wearing dark clothing spill out and instantly begin firing toward the crowd. Within seconds, people scatter in every direction while several individuals on the corner begin returning fire toward the shooters. The intersection turns into a full gun battle. 5 male victims and 1 female victim are struck before the offenders rush back toward the van and flee westbound on Germantown Avenue. The van itself becomes one of the biggest details in the footage because it stands out so clearly on camera with a roof rack mounted on top and graffiti painted along the passenger side. This one almost looks fake or AI generated at first. I can't even show the full version on here because one of the guys gets hit while trying to run away. The final case starts completely differently from the others. No mask, no ambush, no suspects jumping out of a vehicle, just a traffic dispute near 21st Street and Market Street on October 29, 2021. After a collision, a driver approaches a woman's vehicle demanding money for the damage. At first, the interaction looks like a normal street argument, then the situation suddenly escalates. As the woman returns to her vehicle while calling police, the suspect pulls out a handgun and fires directly into the front passenger wheel before fleeing the area. No injuries are reported, but the footage stands out because of how quickly a routine traffic situation becomes a shooting investigation. Across all of these clips, surveillance cameras capture moments that only take seconds to unfold. A shooter stepping out of a Hyundai wearing purple gloves, gunmen splitting around a Ford Escape before opening fire, a suspect waiting around inside a convenience store before a failed robbery turns violent, 3 shooters jumping from a Honda Accord outside a bar. For the clips that could not be fully shown here, the uncut versions are on TopTrendReportTV.com, along with the full surveillance archive and deeper case breakdowns connected to these investigations. Thanks for watching. A woman stands outside near Kensington, smoking like nothing is about to happen. Seconds later, she turns, fires at close range, puts the gun away, and walks off. A man on a corner gets rushed by a shooter, firing 2 handguns at the same time. A red Mazda pulls into a gas station, circles into position, and 2 masked shooters jump out before a man pumping gas is hit with gunfire in broad daylight. These are real Philadelphia surveillance shootings, and some of the full clips cannot be shown completely on this platform. To see the full uncut archive, go to TopTrendReportTV.com and open the surveillance archive section. That is where you'll find the full footage, exclusive case files, murder report breakdowns, and detailed diagrams that explain what happened beyond the short clips shown here. July 7th, 2022 at 12:56 a.m. under the Scepter Market Frankfurt line on the 2900 block of Kensington Avenue, a lone shooter walked out of a corner convenience store and moved briefly along the sidewalk under the elevated train line. The camera caught him clearly before the gunfire. He wore a black t-shirt with a large A/X logo, a red and white striped gator-style mask, gray sweatpants with a graphic on the rear, and a black fanny pack slung over his shoulder. Moments later, he drew a handgun and fired directly into a crowd gathered on Kensington Avenue. A 20-year-old black female was shot in the knee and buttocks. A 17-year-old black male was shot in the buttocks. Both survived and were listed in stable condition at Temple Hospital. After the shooting, the suspect ran east on Orland Street, June 27, 2022 at 8 p.m. On the 4900 block of Wayne Avenue, a black Dodge Journey moved slowly down the street while people were sitting outside on porch steps. As the SUV traveled southbound, the passenger opened fire. Police said more than 24 rapid shots were fired directly toward the victims sitting outside. 2 male victims were struck multiple times in their arms, legs, and buttocks. Both were transported to Albert Einstein Medical Center. The suspect vehicle sped away southbound on Wayne Avenue toward Abbotsford Avenue, June 23, 2022 at 12:17 a.m. On the 2400 block of North Reese Street, a dark Nissan sedan pulled up beside a victim on a narrow residential street. The driver distracted him while a second suspect approached from behind on foot, pulled out a firearm, and tried to force him into the vehicle. The victim fought back, and the attempted kidnapping turned into a violent struggle on the sidewalk next to a parked pickup truck. During that struggle, both suspects fired multiple shots. The victim was hit once in the elbow and survived in stable condition. After the failed abduction and gunfire, the suspects jumped back into the dark Nissan sedan and drove away from the block. June 6, 2022, at 2:43 a.m., near Wishaw Street and Kensington Avenue, SEPTA police were already dispersing a large crowd when a single gunshot rang out down the block. Officers found a male victim on the 1800 block of East Wishaw Street, suffering from a gunshot wound to the abdomen. He was rushed to Temple Hospital. The surveillance is what makes this one stand out. The female suspect was caught on video before the shooting, casually smoking a cigarette before turning around and firing at the victim at close range. After the shot, she placed the gun into her purse and walked away. Police later identified the suspect as 42-year-old Latanya Nettles. She was arrested and charged with attempted murder and aggravated assault. May 9th, 2022, around 2:30 p.m. at 1060 East Mount Airy Avenue, a red Mazda pulled into a gas station where a man was pumping gas. The car circled, turned, and positioned itself facing the road for an immediate escape. Then two masked shooters dressed in black jumped out. One had an AK-47 style long gun or rifle. The other carried a handgun with an extended magazine. They ran down on the victim and opened fire. The victim was struck multiple times throughout his body and died from his injuries. The shooters ran back to the vehicle and fled west on Mount Airy Avenue. Police identified the car as a 2009 red Mazda 3 sedan with New Jersey plate 562PWX. The whole attack lasted less than 15 seconds. May 30th, 2021, around 2:25 a.m., on the 1000 block of West Olney Avenue, 38-year-old Antaeus Burry confronted a heavy-set male suspect on the sidewalk. The confrontation turned into a close quarters fight over a firearm. The two struggled violently near a wall as the weapon stayed between them. After the struggle ended, the suspect shot Barry at close range. Barry died at the scene. The suspect fled on foot, running northbound on 10th Street away from Olney Avenue. Police described him as a heavy-set black male with a full beard, appearing to be in his late 20s to early 30s. May 5th, 2022, on East Clementine Street, On the 1800 block of East Clementine Street near Kensington Avenue, a male victim was standing near the corner when the shooter suddenly rushed in. The gunman opened fire with 2 semi-automatic handguns at the same time. One of the weapons had an extended magazine. The victim was struck multiple times and taken to Temple Hospital in critical condition. After the ambush, the shooter ran around the block and was last seen fleeing southbound on Roof Street across Clearfield Street. He was described as a thin black male wearing a black hooded sweatshirt with designs across the chest. July 27, 2022 at 8:05 p.m. Inside the Worcester Townhomes complex, a white BMW X3 followed a juvenile riding an ATV through the residential area. When the SUV reached the 200 block of Armstrong Street, it stopped. 2 masked occupants dressed in all black jumped out and opened fire through a large crowd, targeting the person on the ATV. During the gunfire, an unnamed 7-year-old child was struck in the left hand. Police transported him in at Albert Einstein Medical Center where he was treated. The shooters got back inside the white BMW and fled the area, last seen driving on Column Street toward Roof Street. These clips show how fast a normal moment can turn into gunfire. A corner store, a porch step, a sidewalk, a bar, a gas station, a housing complex. The locations change, but the camera keeps catching the same terrifying pattern, calm seconds before everything breaks open. The full uncut surveillance archive is available at TopTrendReportTV.com inside the surveillance archive section, along with exclusive case files, murder report breakdowns, and detailed diagrams explaining the evidence behind these cases.